I've been holidaying, as you guys say, because we say vacationing. I'm a little tired, a little brown, fresh off the plane, but we're back at it again. Professor Wilson, I introed the last one and started it off. Now you're going to have to take the reign. You talk about whatever you want and I'll help you out. What has been on your mind or something that has been percolating or something you wanted to bring to the 18 people that watch our video?
So, okay, you know what? I had a book come out recently called Halal Branding, and chapter 1 is called What the Halal is Going On. And I want to talk not about the chapter, but about what's been going on recently, which is veganism. So,
Very true.
Technically, a vegan lifestyle is halal, right?
Yeah.
Right. And
Beyond Meat's IPO that just happened was one of the most best performing IPOs in a very long time. So that's just something to throw out there.
And this year I had the Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
Meatless meat that bleeds like meat. And what I can see then is that there seems to be interest from within the Muslim community of consuming more vegan stuff, which is good, but also companies who were looking for halal certification also looking for halal and vegan. Because vegan is that thing that they think has got an X factor where potentially you could get the interest of more consumers and that helps you to go mainstream. Now you might think, why halal and vegan if vegan is halal, meaning permissible according to Islam? Because it could have alcohol in it.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's the difference. So whilst it won't have any meat in it, the other thing to look out for is alcohol. Now, of those companies then that are thinking about making a choice, one of the things that I'll say about vegan certification, which is good, is it's easy in terms of a checklist, right? If it's plant-based and has no other like dairy, animal products, stuff like that in it, then it's easy to certify. All right, so the thing is this, right? With vegan, it's fairly easy to diagnose in that you're looking for plant-based or absence of animal products, dairy, things like that, right? And so for food, that's straightforward. You can certify. And also you've got a vegan necktie company that got awards from PETA. And so there's this ethical component as well, right? Yeah. About the treatment, the fair treatment of animals and no animals being harmed.
Not killing. The killing of sentient beings.
Right. So that's where you could understand, okay, well, in halal, then some people are eating meat, so then they can't make themselves halal and vegan. But the thing that I want to pick up on is that it's a clear checklist. The problem that I have with currently the halal industry or certifiers is there's no clear consensus on various areas. So like if I break this down in clear facts, you would think that halal, meaning permissibility, means that you are checking the ingredients, the processing, hanging out with Americans too much, right? The processing of this food stuff. So if you have processed meats or something like that, like how they're being produced, that there's no contamination. And then there's the logistics of getting it to that destination and how it's packaged, right? If you can check all of those things, so the ingredients are right, the products are right, then technically you think that that's what you need for halal certification, right? Well, there are other factors as well. So there are differences of opinion as to whether a Muslim has to be the person that kills the animal or whether that can be a Jewish person and stuff. So that becomes a grey area. Whether the animal can be stunned or not before slaughter, that becomes a grey area. And then even more complicated is when certifiers or people have strong opinions when they may not want to endorse your product or certify it because of the name of the product.
Yeah.
So, for example,
ginger beer.
Yeah, I've had debates. Ginger beer or root beer, which have no alcohol in them, but they say it's beer, and then it doesn't matter how many times you say that. Or bacon, which is a curing process, and I remember back in the days, even before I was a Muslim, having beef bacon, just knowing that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's pork.
But because of this relationship that they have through the years, ever since they were young, they can't seem to get over that mental hurdle of no, you're getting caught up in the name, and it's not.
And it's a generational thing, because I remember having Pakistani friends who thought that sausages were synonymous with pork, because they didn't hang around with North Africans, Moroccans who eat merguez. So even if it was on the menu in a halal restaurant, they would avoid it because of the kind of the psychological association. So names, but also then we touched upon things like, say, turkey bacon and stuff. Some people have an issue with effectively products that are replicating something which is not normally available as halal, like turkey bacon, right, faken as you might call it, or because they say that's imitating something which is impermissible, or alcohol-free wine, or alcohol-free beer.
That whole space is growing, of alcohol-free wine, beers, champagne. Is there alcohol-free champagne?
Yeah.
All of those, that sector I feel is going to be the next big thing in
because
terms of
ingredients wise and technically it's permissible, but the grounds in which people would complain would be effectively for local custom and cultural reasons, that it's not in keeping with your culture, therefore it's something of someone who is not a Muslim, and there's this kind of conveyor belt scenario where some people have debated where they said, you know, if you start an alcohol-free beer, then you'll end up becoming an alcoholic because you'll want to have like
the real thing.
Yeah, the real thing, really strong beer.
But when I said that it's a growing thing, I was talking about just not talking about Islam and halal, but as a sector. Just because alcohol consumption globally is going down, people are being more conscious of their health and the extra calories that beer and all these different spirits and wines and alcohol drinks have that alcohol-free doesn't. And then also you got the liver problems, the health issues, the problems with the police if you drink too much. So that, as when I said it's growing, I'm talking about not dealing with
and then if it grows like with these like things where people want to, like, you know, they want to drive and drink, or they want to play sports, they want to train, you know, there are lots of people that are drinking more responsibly, and you know,
it's like decaf coffee. You know, people who drink decaf coffee, it's just they want the taste and bitterness of coffee, but it's 11:30 p.m. and I don't want to stay up. I just like the taste. So it's for those people too who don't want to drink alcohol anymore, but they like the taste. They've been drinking it for the past 25 years. I like the taste of hops. I like the taste of barley. I like the taste of stout. But you know,
I can fit in. Let's not like underestimate the fact.
Very big point.
I'm sick of standing out, of being the person that has to like apologize
drinking 7-Up while everyone
or justify, like everyone's like, why aren't you drinking? But at least, and I noticed this, especially in Asia, where you know people want to fit in. That I was at a function in Japan a few years ago, and they were toasting, and they gave everybody a beer, and I don't drink, so they were very clear about the fact that I had to participate. So they gave me a bottle, like it was a beer bottle, but it had like brown tea in it, and so it looked like beer. So that, and they made a point of like pouring it, and so you could go like kampai and cheers and everything, because I had to participate, and that was big in their culture. So I get that it happens here now, where you know a young person just wants to, like, you know,
fit in,
work, do whatever it is. It's easy,
or not even fit in, just they don't want to stand out.
Yeah, and not to answer those questions like, "Oh, you're not drinking, are you, John?" Or like, because it's so many things are read into it. So I think there's also a generational thing. So if a younger generation doesn't have the same hang-ups, has a different perspective and a different point of view, and they're not changing the religion, it's down to local customs and culture. What we could see is that halal, which has been reported as having the potential to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, might not.
And bigger.
Because people will switch to vegan and flexitarian lifestyles. Because, for example, there's a fast food...
Hey, you see that happening with a lot of...
Fast food chain that we've worked with, who had halal chicken.
Yeah.
But this year they came out with, like I don't know what you'd call it. It's fake chicken, right? But it's vegan. Yeah. So... where they saw an opportunity to cater for people that can't eat regular chicken, so they went for halal. But then if people that eat halal meat would also eat vegan, then if halal is too much trouble, then you just stop offering halal and offer vegan alternatives. And if you offer vegan alternatives, it could be better for your body, better for the environment. For you certifiers out there, or for you Muslim businesses that want to serve your community, you might find that you're going to get squeezed out.
That can eventually happen.
Which
I
would
think-
be a shame.
Because also, I think what's happening worldwide is people, because they're much more concerned about the environment, the carbon footprint, the raising, how much water does it take to
Which
get-
halal is not. I have to say, sorry, like, and you know,
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for you all, but let's be real about this. The carbon footprint of sending chickens from Brazil to London just so that you can eat halal when there's a local farmer, from a sustainability perspective, like the triple bottom line is what? People, profits, and planet. It doesn't tick those boxes.
Yeah.
Like, people don't.
How much water and how many resources and how much resources are used to just create a patty,
Yeah.
of meat.
8 kilograms of grain for 1 kilogram of beef, and when you're sending it from Australia to the Gulf, so you can have your halal burger on your holiday because you can't get halal in your local area. Think about what we're having to do. So, Muslim in London wants to eat halal burgers and can't find them, goes to a holiday on Dubai, and then the beef's being imported from Australia.
And this younger generation, they're growing up. They're being born into this consciousness.
Yeah.
That this is the destructive path that your meat takes from the farm to your plate.
Yeah.
And you go, you know what? I want to be a bit more responsible, and I want to hold myself accountable for my actions and what I'm doing to the planet Earth. Therefore, yeah, I'm going to eat this. And these foods, these plant-based imitations of chicken, beef, they're tasting and getting better.
Yeah.
Just technology and advancements and more testing and more research and more developing, and the products are just, like you said, the meats are, it looks like there's blood coming out.
Yeah.
And people will say, and this is for people who may be listening to us going, oh, vegan, why don't they just eat the real thing? It's not that vegans don't like the taste or enjoy it. They do. It's just that they're also very mindful that, man, something has to die.
Actually, but then, you know what? Let's say this. So what and who cares? In the sense that, when these debates that you would have about, well, why should they have fake sausages that resemble meat? Isn't that a bit hypocritical? Do you know what? I don't care, mate. Like, it's someone has to. What I want to say is, people have the opportunity to choose, right? So, and I would extend that to like modest fashion or something. When someone says, "Oh, isn't it a bit hypocritical that the woman's wearing a headscarf, but she's making up her face and looking pretty? I thought that she wanted to be modest or to be unseen." So what, mate? Her body, her life. None of your business.
Yeah.
Like, let's get away from that philosophical debate and just think, okay, let's say people want to have fake meatless meat. Just let them have it, right? And if they're going to have it, let's work out what it is that, for example, halal, and you can see I'm getting a bit passionate for a change, right? But what the halal wants to do? Do you want to save the planet? Do you want to think about people and profits and our profit, right? Then let's do it properly. Don't be protectionist. Don't think about your local customs or what people did back in the day or how the younger generation is selling the religion up the river, because they're not. Think about actually the wider game is, because I don't hear these discussions on carbon footprint. I don't hear people discussing these things about inclusivity, getting more jobs for women, or even encouraging people from Muslims, Christians, and the Jewish community to work closer together, because we can all work on having some nice food to eat, on solving things like world poverty, and so that it's not a white collar choice where your religion is like, well, I can go to like my certified restaurant and I can eat, healthily and halal, whilst, how many backs has it come over for you to get your burger, and they're eating nothing. I just wanted to just put it out there. I know it's a bit of a rant, but
But no, I mean, I think I finished my point. But it was not that they don't miss the taste of meat or chicken. It's just that they feel a bit responsible for their actions and how it's devastating to the earth and how it's killing an animal unnecessarily. There's no need to raise it just to kill it, to eat it, when I I like it. I grew up on I'm not, speaking as a vegan. If I was, this is how a vegan would speak about it, would say, it's not, I grew up on hamburgers. I grew up on McDonald's. I grew up on Burger King. I love it. I miss it. But what goes into that process, I abhor it. Therefore, I can't get rid of that taste. I like it still. It's just I don't like the actions. I don't like the process. And that's why these vegans do that. They go for products that tastes like something that reminds them.
And flexitarians, I'm quite comfortable referring to myself as a flexitarian, where you can have a steak on the weekend, responsibly sourced, good quality, good to eat, but rather than go for the crap frozen burgers during the week, then just like eat meat less, eat some more vegetables, and treat yourself once in a while, which is being more seasonal. All of these things, I think it's been great because it's a wake up call.
Yeah.
And these things come for a reason, whether that's, halal came to wake people up to the idea that, like, if you want to talk about abattoirs, the number of halal chickens in abattoirs slaughtered per day is far less than non-halal, where they're decapitated. Yeah. So it was a wake-up call to say, like, we should be more responsible, and rather than being mechanically decapitated by serrated machines, human beings should be involved, because otherwise we lose consciousness. Consciousness of the reality. But to me, I see this as another phase of discovery where, for all of these things that we raise concerns over, now vegan is raising the flag and saying you should think a bit harder, and I'm fascinated by that, actually.
Well, I can see that. Okay. You got any more ranting?
No, I'm done.
Okay, so, well, thank you all for tuning in and watching, and see you soon. Peace.
Peace.